to Philly today. Really excited. I'm always excited. I said that in another thing. Okay. I am doing a featured poetry set with Two Lines Philly. I got connected with them the last time I went to Philly when I was at Creatives in Philly. I'll put a link to, I don't know if it's over here or over here, but I'll put a link to that vlog up there. But I got connected with them there, and they invited me out today. We have just been in the middle of the Canadian wildfires that made New York look like an apocalypse. So I have not been outside for any significant amount of time in the last like 3 or 4 days. So I don't know. I might wear my mask later. My throat feels fine, but I don't know what outside's gonna feel like. What if I go outside and it looks like Mad Max?
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
I'm bringing my guitar with me. I'm gonna do music today. Why? Because I can. All right. So I'll bring y'all along with me. I'm watching the baby. She's taking a nap now. So now is my time to get ready before she wakes up. So I should probably stop talking. I should probably get off and go shower and get ready. Yeah, let's do that. On the road again. It's the Biggie t-shirt. That's what happened today. Hour and a half, not hour and a half, 2 hours. Listen, ain't nothing like Northeast traffic. Well, maybe like West Coast traffic, but anyway, let's get on the road. On the way, I'm in the middle of traffic, but something I was thinking about today, I was just practicing some of the poems in the car, but I'm about to sound real crazy. Sometimes I have conversations with myself, externalizing the thought processes that I'm having in my head. I was just thinking about, after I was going through my poems, I was thinking about some of my favorite poets. As an artist, I think it's important to understand who your inspirations are, right? These are the people who inspire you, not just artistically, but also stylistically, right? But I also wanted to talk about how to figure out who your inspiration is. So I'll talk about that later. For now, here's a list of some of my favorite poets of all time. Right. I'm gonna start with Jackie Hill Perry. Jackie Hill Perry was one of the first Christian poets that I heard that I felt had a lot of artistic talent, and it wasn't, for lack of a better word, it wasn't corny. I have written my share of corny poems in my life, and hearing her poems really kind of pushed me. One poem in particular that I think is one of my favorites from her is a poem called Deadbeat. I'll put a clip of it here.
She shreds mics open and makes dead things come to life for a living. Only if you can live twice, you would have been the double entendre I can never write. So let's just write about how good you were to me. How you told me I was beautiful, so I didn't have to murder my integrity to resurrect my dying self-esteem. Held your daughter to your chest till she heard your heart split itself into a lifetime of I love yous that choked out her addiction to affirmation from other fatherless females.
Another is Rudy Francisco, but he's one of the poets in the last few years who I've seen get a little bit more mainstream recognition. I could tell that he's an inspiration because underneath, there was a comment under one of my videos, and it said, sounds like he copied Rudy Francisco, or sounds like he's trying to be Rudy Francisco. I'm not trying to be Rudy Francisco, but if I was trying to be Rudy Francisco is a great person to try and be. Okay, I think he's retired, but it's my friend Matt Strange. I met him when I was doing a lot of poetry with the group True Voices. That's where you might know me from. I listened to him and I'm like, how did you put so many metaphors and so much wordplay in like 7 words? Like, he has a poem that starts with, I've been snorting the lines you've tweeted me.
I've been snorting the lines that you tweeted me. Smoking your likes and comments like pipe dreams. The praises I receive from Marys and Janes are never all they're cracked up to be. You see, every time I take one hit of affirmation, I'm itching for my next fix of recognition. My soul bears the track marks of people pleasing and desperation. I almost overdose at every poetry show because people tell me that I'm dope.
That's so much in 0.2 words. Ooh, another is Roya Marsh. If you don't know who Roya Marsh is, you need to know who Roya Marsh is. I had the distinct pleasure and privilege to be on a slam team with her in 2017? I can't remember what year, but it was the year that the Brooklyn Slam team went to the National Poetry Slam and made it to the final stage. I got the chance to like really work with Roya and watch who she is as a person, as well as just the way that Roya writes. Just one of my favorites. I'm gonna put a clip of one of my favorite poems from her right here.
But they cannot create black joy the same way they created race. They cannot dictate our blackness. They cannot dictate our happiness. And yeah, it's true. Once you go black joy, you never go back. Ask Rachel Dolezal and them Kardashians, those black holes.
Those are some of those. That's an extremely short list with like a little blurb for each of them. But I also, here's a list of other people that I would add to the list in no particular order. Traffic is moving now, so let me get back to that. Your boy is here. I made it. I also was thinking about what determines if somebody's an inspiration to you. So the first thing I think of is content. What is the subject matter that they're writing about? A good example of this is an artist named Antoine Bradford. He writes about mental health in light of his faith, so that's always really big. The second is context. For me, that's like genre, right? I don't write like The Saga, who does a lot of battle rap. I write like me, or I write like Jackie Hill Perry or Rudy Francisco. Those are some people who influence me because of the style of writing that they do. And then I guess the last one that I would say is collaboration, right? So this is more for the artists that you could see yourself collaborating with in the future. Somebody like that for me is Leanne LaHavis. I love her music, and if I could collaborate with her, I absolutely would. She doesn't write like me, she doesn't perform like me, she doesn't write the same things that I do, but I would love to sing with her. And she's a huge inspiration just in terms of the artistry. So those are the three things: content, context, and collaboration. That's at least how I view it. And put down in the comments who some of your inspirations are using those three things.
After I am laid in the earth, and before my bones get drunk off the dry of the dirt, before my skin grows pale and pallid and my body grows cold, before my gravestone erodes like a tongue forgetting its language and my blood finishes watering the ground, tell them about me. Tell them that I love mangoes, but I hated grapefruit. Tell them that I love good coffee and bad coffee and just coffee. And when you tell them about my love for coffee, tiptoe around the word addiction like a minefield. Tell them I had this dope Yu-Gi-Oh card collection and that technically mama didn't want me collecting them, so they were hidden under my bed next to forgotten boogeymen and dirty socks. Just another black boy hiding things he has no business collecting. Tell them I sang gospel like Jesus was Lord, sang opera like Mozart was president, sang spirituals like, no, sang soul music. Oh, I have never dropped this poem ever. All right. Tell them Tell him I sang gospel like Jesus was Lord, sang opera like Mozart was president, sang spirituals like being dark-skinned was safe, sang soul music like Jasmine Sullivan was bae and always was bae and always will be bae. And tell them I sang duets with Fetty Wap loudly on the subway. You should even tell Fetty Wap he would never see it coming. Tell him I made bad jokes and laughed like God himself was giggling. Tell him I knew what God's laugh sounded like, what God's voice sounded like. Tell him God's voice sounded like Nana's Callaloo and Mama's oxtail and Papa's rice and peas and Auntie's curry goat. And tell him say that my God him speak Jamaican patois and him speaking raw, but he also tied his speech in a bow tie. Or got his words real gully whenever it was appropriate. Tell him God and I spoke often. He said I was fearfully and wonderfully made, like God don't like ugly, but he don't make ugly. Thus ain't nothing about this body, this skin, this black, this melanin, these hands, these feet that he would call ugly. Tell them he called me beautiful. Tell them I started calling myself beautiful and I began to love myself. Tell them I loved myself. Tell them I loved hard. Tell them I loved so hard a hug from me was like being stuck between a rock and a hard place, and it was this kind of love that always made it hard to let go. Tell them I loved Legos, but I hated stepping on them. I used to tiptoe around them like my feet. And as a big kid who loved playing games like Scrabble or Monopoly or life, tell them that I love life, that I love living, like living was a gift, like living was a birthright, like dying prematurely is unnatural, like attracting bullets to black bodies be unnatural, like melanin be magnet, like this body be hiding place for 9mm, just another black boy hiding things he has no business collecting. Tell him I was black. Tell him I was proud. Tell him I was hella black and hella proud. Tell him I was a gospel song, a Negro spiritual, a Baptist hymn, coconut oil, shea butter, cocoa butter, Kento oil, a black fist, Afro pick in the hands of a black fist raised in the air, but most importantly, before they sully my name with stories that do not belong to me, before they drag my legacy through the dirt, before they put my shadow on trial long after I am gone, my name is Christopher Sean Michael Lilley, and you be sure to tell them who I am. Thank you. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling tonight? Good. I asked y'all how you were doing, and you did the audience thing. I said, how y'all doing? Y'all said, woo, good. I want you to be honest with me for a second. How are you feeling?
Mentally ill.
Okay. I think this is a great time to let you know I am not a therapist. So I wanted to provide you a space to let you know that it is okay to be authentic. It is okay to be honest. And one of the things that I notice in the way that black men are socialized is that we are not allowed to be honest unless it is anger. So specifically for us, I wanted to say it is okay to be sad. I live with depression every day. It is okay to live with these things. Your emotions are just information, and it's okay to sit with them. I told my story in church once. I shared how I was once dead, now resurrected, how depression made a meal of my brain but couldn't stomach the God in me. How depression still occasionally enjoys the taste of me. I finish, and concerned parishioners everywhere wonder if I am a haunted house in need of exorcism, or if I was ever truly haunted at all. I am still at the altar. Still believe in a God who never leaves or forsakes, whether that's in the pew or in the medicine cabinet. And I know I wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and rulers of darkness and wickedness in high places. And sometimes those high places are inside my own house of worship, my own valley of dry bones, my own wilderness that I've been lost in for so long. Some days I am still lost, and I have been lost before, but I have been to the mountaintop. I have seen the promised land. I have seen this body's glorious transfiguration, and I look beautiful and imperfect and beautiful and broken and beautiful and scarred and wounded and still beautiful. So for the black boy who considered suicide when the church altar call wasn't enough, I can see you and I can hear you. And it's okay if today you are not okay. When God feels like an empty collection plate, I came here to tell you that you don't need to give up. You are seen, you are heard, you are loved. Take the space now. No matter what you came in with, Take the space now to remember that there is always someone fighting for you, even if it is you. Thank you. Truth is, I live in glass houses. Truth is, I'll throw the first stone. Truth is, I've been feeling lonely. But the truth is, I've never been alone. Truth is, I'm so good at numbing. Woo, 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 woo. Truth is, I can feel every blow. Oh, oh, oh. Truth is, I've gotten good at lying. But the truth is hard to know. I'm the stranger in the mirror, and I don't know which words are my own. How can I tell which voice speaks the truth? The truth is hard to know. Can I get a snap? And snap. There it is. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, the truth is, the truth is hard to know. Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you guys so much. My name is Lilley, and that's all I got for you. Thank you. My favorite part of doing shows like this, where the feature is in the middle of the show and then you're done, is that I'm done. So I'm gonna stay to the end of the show, and yeah, I got to perform a few poems. One of the poems I performed, I didn't plan on doing, but then I ended up doing. It's a new poem about my daughter. I actually showed it in one of my previous vlogs, I think when I was in, no, it was the vlog with Harlem Bomb Shelter. So I'll link that at the end of the video as well. Each of the poems that I did today was inspired by another artist or another creator. I did Tell Them, which is a poem after Carvin's Lissent for Black Boys, which is a poem that is directly connected to the play for colored girls. I'll put the title and the play right here. I did Imani's poem, which, this is a stretch because I wrote it and the inspiration was my daughter, but whenever I do the poem, I think of a song by Ben Rector called Steady Love. It just made me think of the baby, and the baby made me think of the song. So yeah, finally I did Truth Is. Who is Truth Is inspired by? I don't know, but I do know that it went well, so.
All right, I am on my way home now. It was a good show. It was a good show. I don't know if you watched my vlog I'm referring to previous vlogs that I've done. If you watched my vlog at the Bro Experience, I'll link it also in the description. The guy after me, when I was performing there, put a naked woman up as a part of his show. Today, before I went up, it was before I went up this time, this man goes up and does an entire poem about relations with a woman going down there. I had friends at this show, and I had to be like, listen, y'all, just wait for my poems, please. I had a great time at Two Lines Philly. Great people. I love coming to Philly, man. Like New York is my home, but Philly really, they really be feeling. Sorry, they really be feeling your boys. The last thing I'll say is, like I said before, I got to perform some pieces by people who really, really inspire me. I'm learning just how important those inspirations are. Art is not only subjective, but there's original art, but like no art is truly completely and utterly original. It's always derived from something, your experience, and yes, other people's art, the way that they've created. So I don't know where I was going with that. It's just something I was thinking of when I was doing my poems tonight. But yeah, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna go home, and I will see you next time. Let's keep being honest together. And oh, you should like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Down there, click the link and join my mailing list. And let's keep being honest together. I will see you later. Goodbye.